Back for Blood. Chances are you completely forgot this game even existed. I know I did. As you likely know, Back for Blood serves as a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead 2. Developed by Turtle Rock Studios, the original creators of Left 4 Dead, formerly known as Valve South, and the studio was re-established in 2011. Left 4 Dead was never just a game to play through once. While its cooperative gameplay was undeniably addictive, it wasn't explicitly designed for single playthrough experiences. It's been 3 years since the release of Back 4 Blood, so today I wanted to take a look back at the game and see how it holds up today. I remember seeing the game get announced a long time ago and being really excited to finally play a brand new Left 4 Dead game, since the original two hold a special place in my heart. I remember being pretty young and playing through Left 4 Dead 2 and being extremely terrified. I don't think I was ever even able to beat the game myself either. And if I'm being honest, I don't think I've ever found a game that gives me the same feeling of fear but also excitement at the same time. These games were truly special. But anyway, let's talk about Back 4 Blood. And in Back 4 Blood, there's one core campaign, which is PvE, and it is most definitely designed for co-op. You can play solo, but you'll always be forced to play as a group of 4 through the campaign, so the other 3 in your party will be bots, and surprisingly competent bots at that. Or you can just roll the dice and matchmake with random strangers online. Or of course, you can play with friends and a combination of bots or randoms too. So if your teammates suddenly abandon the match halfway through a run, you can start a new solo run from the last mission you reached, and vice versa if they want to join halfway through the run. The concept of runs ties directly into how the campaign system is structured. When starting a run, you can choose from 3 difficulty levels, each offering a significant jump and challenge. From a laid-back stroll to full-blown apocalyptic chaos, progressing through the higher difficulty levels requires more than just luck. You'll need a solid build and a well-coordinated team. This is where another crucial aspect of the system comes into play. Completing a campaign mission with online companions, though not when playing solo with bots, rewards you with in-game currency called supply points. These points can be used to progress along supply lines, which basically functions as a skill tree. Advancing through these lines unlocks cards that are really useful and engaging, and pretty essential to the gameplay. And there's also some less exciting, really underwhelming cosmetics like beanies or banners that just feel kind of skippable. Each card offers a unique perk, starting with like a simple boost like 15 health, and they progressively get more specialized and complex. For instance, one card might drastically increase reload speed but prevent you from aiming down sights. You assemble a deck of 15 cards from those you've unlocked, then choose which deck to use when starting a run. As you progress, 5 cards from your deck are drawn between levels in the exact order you arrange them, and you pick one at a time to add to your active build. Meanwhile, the Horde kind of has its own deck, introducing random modifiers to the level. Like for example, there was one that slows down your movement speed with the more gold you have. This one was extremely annoying and pretty much almost cost me my entire run. At first, this system of randomization may feel a bit underwhelming, but soon it can get pretty crazy. This system hinges on having enough variety of cards to create interesting and strategic decks, and this is why it's been so controversial that solo players don't earn any supply points. Without them, you can't really unlock new cards. As a result, solo play is limited to a relatively dull, low difficulty Horde experience with random changes as you progress. If you avoid playing solo and push through the early stages as you gradually unlock more cards, the game becomes far more rewarding. You can craft highly specialized decks that feel completely broken, which, let's face it, that's pretty much the joy of any casual game with build mechanics. I've only just scratched the surface myself, but I've already seen some really insane builds, melee-focused ones in particular. These combine a character's unique traits with stacking stamina boosts, speed buffs, and team-wide healing effects triggered every time you cut down a zombie. All this comes together with some truly entertaining level designs. One standout level early in the campaign feels like a chaotic tower defense mission, where you distract a massive horde by holding out in a bar. It's stocked with the essentials, barbed wires, molotovs, and heaps of ammo, but you're also blasting music from a jukebox you must defend from the relentless zombie onslaught. Another level ends with an uphill gauntlet of sorts, through a suburban neighborhood where waves of enemies pour over the picket fences on either side. And then another has you climbing through a mine as zombies literally drop from the ceiling. And the same applies to much of the PvP, which feels quicker and even more laid back. It reminded me of the original Left 4 Dead games, an easygoing mode perfect for those late night hours. The setups remain largely the same. One team plays as the humans while the others control the zombies, and then the roles switch. However, there are some fresh twists here. Levels now feature modifiers that shift the dynamics, turning the classic cat and mouse chase into either a desperate siege where you hold out against the horde, or a chaotic run and gun scramble as a shrinking battle royale style danger zone in the form of lethal insects forces everyone closer together. Both the campaign and PvP modes introduce a few additional enemy types, which adds some variety. A hulking zombie that can take a lot of damage and pummel you with its massive arm, a nimble stealthy type that spits, jumps, and grabs unsuspecting players, and a colossal exploding zombie that either spews toxic bile from a distance or charges in to detonate. Each of these core types also has 3 subclasses. For example, tall boys that can grab, or exploding zombies that prefer to attack from a distance. While this variety keeps things interesting in PvP, it can feel a bit repetitive during the campaign. And that's really the core issue with Back 4 Blood. Things can feel a bit repetitive. Not all enemy designs hit the mark. Boss encounters, for example, are often underwhelming, typically featuring a very big zombie that serves as a bullet sponge and occasionally knocks you around. The Horde deck system, while ambitious, doesn't always land either. Occasionally it delivers moments of chaos or introduces one of the more creative bosses like the utterly grotesque Hag. This nightmarish creature charges at you from afar, grabs a teammate with its worm-like maw, and drags him underground. Its horrifying theme music and unsettling tiny T-Rex arms make it a standout twist in the lineup, offering a refreshing break from the usual oversized brute enemies. This can really clash with the card system too. The whole point of the system is to plan ahead, but then you might start a level all set with your high ammo, high chaos LMG loadout, only to find out the enemy deck is pushing you with a stealth approach. Suddenly, the level is swarming with alarm-triggering zombies that summon massive hordes when activated. The lights are all off, alarms blare from every door, and tougher enemies require multiple hits to bring down. Meanwhile, your favorite weapon might not show up for a while, since weapons are randomized, and the only exceptions are the few that you can buy with run-specific currency. The only exceptions are the one you can buy at the beginning of each level, but even those are random. It's a real shame, especially when coupled with a general sense of clumsiness in certain areas. Take the hub, for instance, a design choice that feels pretty unnecessary. It's a space where you can walk around and get a few lines of dialogue from an NPC, only to be funneled into a menu where you really could have accessed directly just by opening the menu in the first place. Speaking of NPCs, the game's story just really isn't there. It trickles in through disjointed snippets from a military character while everyone rushes to buy weapons before each round, but it never really explains anything. You end up tuning in for the occasional blowing up a bridge or rescuing someone, but quickly zone out realizing it's really just background noise, to be honest. So anyway, that's about all I have to cover for today. This is the first time I played Back 4 Blood since my initial time playing the early access version back in 2021, and I genuinely enjoyed playing through it again, and even though it doesn't match up to the nostalgia I get from playing the Left 4 Dead games, it was still a great experience. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and make sure to use code GOLDEN at checkout for your Rogue Energy order. The link is in the description. Anyway, I'll catch you all next time. Peace out.